So sorry for the delay if anyone is going to watch this after the fact, which you very well might. I guess I have a case of the Mondays and my brain is still frozen. I need to warm my entire self up. Here's a live look at Port Canaveral. This is our launch credit union camera. If you happen to watch us yesterday, we had some of that Arctic smoke on the camera. The steam, essentially, it was just wild to see. Something you don't often see, or maybe have never seen in Central Florida. But it's a picturesque view now. Plenty of sunshine. Hi there, Facebook. Hi there, YouTube. If you're watching us now, we should be live. I'm gonna make sure of that actually as we're talking. We are. Good deal. I see 11 of you watching, 12 of you watching. Thank you for hopping on. Just past 3:30 on a Monday. So a cold Monday for this time of the year. Okay, let me share this myself. Okay. Good deal. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to ask if you have any crazy photos you want to show with us. I know we've been showcasing a bunch of all your videos and photos from the Florida Freeze. If you have anything else you want to throw in the comments or show, we would certainly love to see those. Honestly, no, this kind of looks like ice. Is that right? Is that ice to the left on the port cam? Is that It kind of looks like it. Am I just seeing things? Is that to the left of the? I don't know if this is the Disney Wish that's in port right there. Doesn't that look like ice? It kind of looks like it. I mean, I don't know what else, but you definitely looks.
Both of our brains may be still frozen.
I can't. That could be ice on the Banana River. I can't tell. It kind of looks like it.
It very well could be.
It's
salt water for I don't know.
I don't know. It looks like a thin layer on top of the water. I don't know. As at my best meteorological guess, it looks like a little bit of ice because the water's not moving in that spot, which it's certainly a possibility. We've had 2 nights below freezing, and another night is on the way. This was taken by me yesterday. I'm not sure about you. Maybe if any of you are watching, maybe you decided to brave the cold and go out to the parks. And this is what shocked me the most. I actually expected the parks, because of the cold, to be pretty quiet, but that was not the case, especially at Animal Kingdom. I posted about that. If you're a big Disney fan like I am, yesterday was the last day of Dinosaur in Dinoland USA at Animal Kingdom before they continue the transformation of that part of the park into Pueblo Esperanza or the Tropical Americas themed land that is going to be in development over the next year plus. So it's certainly sad, certainly exciting. There were a ton of people there. The line actually, from what I could see, got up beyond 3 hours, maybe even 4 hours at times. And that makes sense because with that closing, a lot of people very well could have been at the parks. But all of the parks were crowded. I was talking to one of our coworkers, one of our security guards here at the station, took his daughter to Universal Orlando, said it was packed. And that was on Saturday as the wind was getting really fierce. So this is my personal opinion. I'm thinking that maybe some of you went out to enjoy the cold in the parks because it's something that we don't often get to say that we did. And I never would have thought I'd see the day where there are icicles hanging from Tiana's Bayou Adventure or Splash Mountain, formerly Splash Mountain, which is what you're seeing there. And this was after temperatures got back above freezing. So it's something that is certainly wild, to say the least. Hi, Vicky. No, I am not quite thawed out. I feel like I'm just. I feel like I need to have like a IV of hot cocoa pumping into me. Judith, how's it going? Tell our northern friends to get their weather out of our yards. Yeah, exactly. It is certainly not Florida-esque, to say the least. All right, if you are watching this on Fox Local, 38. So right around 40, we'll be taking a little 2-minute break on Fox Local. So if you do want to hop on YouTube or hop on Facebook, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever's on your noggin, let me know. Let us know but we will be having that break coming up in just a moment. Okay, before we go to break, I'll leave you with some records that we hit this morning. So just like Sunday, 2 record-breaking days in a row. Record lows for Orlando, Sanford, Leesburg, and Daytona, just to name a handful here. Smashing that record in Orlando, set back in 1936. Sanford, that record set back over 40 years ago, 33. We broke that this morning with temps in the upper 20s. Leesburg, 1979, same story. Over 40-year-old records getting broken. 29 this morning, 25 in Daytona. Again, 1980. Cold, must have been a cold February 2nd morning for Daytona and Sanford. We didn't have that in Orlando, but it was still cold. I'm curious if it was like a backdoor cold front kind of setup, because you can see Sanford and Daytona broke those records from the 1980s, but in Orlando it was 32, set back in 1936. Maybe we had a wind coming in from the northeast. Benjamin, how's it going? Yeah, I think everyone would agree with you that the cold would stay up north. I don't think that this is not typical, right? This is the coldest air we've seen in a decade plus, since 2010. All right, Fox local friends, we'll be right back in just a few moments, so don't go away, or if you do go away, hop on Facebook. All right, well, I can leave this up. We can talk a little more until we get our Fox local gang back. But yeah, it's something that is certainly interesting, because typically when you have, excuse me, at early onset of the winter season, it looked like we were going to have a La Nina climate pattern, and typically that means warmer and drier conditions. And we have had some warmth for sure. Obviously, just a couple of weekends ago, we had temperatures back up close to 90 degrees. But we've also had plenty of cold shots, right? So I would say that this year, I'll be curious to see how many freeze warnings we've had, how many days we've had maybe, say, 35 degrees or colder around Orlando, or as we go through the rest of the winter season as a whole. Just kind of some of the stats, some of the standards that we look at to gauge a season. But would not be shocked if we have some more freeze warnings before maybe February winds to a close, or before the winter winds to a close. I just realized that I did not have YouTube up, so let me pull up YouTube and see if we have any of you watching. I see 12 of you watching on YouTube, so thank you. See if we have any. I don't see any questions or comments on YouTube at the current time, but if something comes across your mind, let me know. Yeah, just a kind of a wild weekend. Some of us saw snowflakes, some flurries, especially on the Gulf Coast, Jacksonville, north of Orlando, up across Alachua County around Gainesville. I have some video of that. It's funny, and I know Laurel. Welcome back, Fox Local friends. I know Laurel mentioned this, had a video that we showed that she talked about kind of debunking the report that we actually had out of our National Weather Service office in Melbourne, where we had the sensors supposedly picking up on flurries, but in fact it was actually some dust. But there have been some videos across Central Florida of potential flurries. It's one of those things. When you're shining a light, it almost looks like dust, but could it be some snowflakes? I don't know. It's something that we'll certainly be digging into, but we've gotten lots of reports on the Gulf Coast of flurries that went into the National Weather Service office out of Tampa. So right now, temperatures have climbed out of the freezer. We're still around 20 degrees below normal for this time of the year, but we have temperatures that are warmer than what they were Sunday. Low to mid 50s, 54 in Bithlo, 56 in the Village. Oh, are you gonna record? Okay, guys, bear with us. We have to record something real fast, so this will give you time to, and also lower my voice here. So I'll whisper while we're recording this. We're a working studio here at Fox 35. A lot of guests, but this is actually Noah's recording a weather update that will air on it'll air on Fox 35 Plus, WRBW, and it'll air on Fox 51. So Bear with me. Hey, Aaron, how are you? How's it going?
Meteorologist T.J here. Temperatures
You might be able to hear Noah. Can you hear him?
mostly clear with a few morning, a little bit of the southwest wind at 3
Oh, right. I'm
tomorrow.
not seeing anything on YouTube right now. I see 5 of you watching on YouTube.
Very nice day. We're looking at the southwest wind of about 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, but if you're ready for the warmth, we're going to continue to feel a warming trend as we progress through the next couple days. Michael, good question. I personally cannot comment because I haven't really been into the newsroom. I haven't heard about that, but there very well could be a sinkhole in Groveland. That's certainly a possibility with a setup like this. We were talking about that yesterday. So, Vicky, I did not hear that. No, I did not hear that. That's actually great that he came back. I would have loved to have seen him in person. A lot of people were dressing up, which was really cool, dressing up as Dr. Seeker going to Animal Kingdom yesterday. So super, super fun. Last one. Okay. Also, while I'm thinking about it, tomorrow morning, and I'll show you those numbers. If you have an ice scraper and your car's sitting out, frosty. We'll likely have frost. We'll likely have some frost to scrape off your windshield, your car windows. Thanks, Noah. Yeah. Caitlin, how are you? Air temps and ground temps. That's actually a good question. Off the top of my head, I have not looked at surface temperatures, but I'll have to dig into that. And I definitely will, because I would imagine that because we've had some warmth during the day, ground temperatures I'm sure are a little bit milder now, but tonight there still could be some freezing conditions, so maybe not a good idea to it's a good idea to leave your irrigation systems off. Make sure if you forgot to turn those off, turn those off. Temperatures still, it's not going to be a hard freeze like we've had the last couple nights, but it's still going to be cold. Tammy, how's it going? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks. Sending all the love to you, Tammy. Thanks for the kind words. Linda, yes, Wednesday does look great. And I will definitely preview that. Wednesday actually does look really nice. I'll pull up our highs. Tammy, if you have like a lighter blanket, a frost blanket or whatever on your plants, probably you can keep that on them because temperatures are going to drop again tonight. And with that, definitely think about your cars. I did actually pump up my tires, so I've been okay. But if your car is certainly sitting out overnight, or they're already low from the cold this past weekend, probably a good idea to go put a little air in your tires so you don't come out to some, I won't say flats, but tires that aren't good to drive on. A little PSA for the day. Freeze warnings again through 9 a.m. tomorrow. Noah and I were just talking about that did extend the storm team alert to encompass our night because it's going to be the third night in a row where we've had temperatures at around or likely getting just below the freezing mark. 20s still on the map. Palm Coast, Ocala, Gainesville going to be back in the upper 20s, right around 32 in Orlando. Most of the metro likely going to be at freezing, if not just a touch below. Some of you, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, maybe just a little bit higher than that, but Melbourne, Cocoa, likely just with the help of the water, just a touch above the freezing mark. Now the plus, because we've seen the wind relax with high pressure building in, we don't have to deal with those brutal wind chills, likely kind of matching the outside temperature tomorrow morning. We won't have to deal with that. Didn't really have to deal with that as much this morning. Still had extreme cold warnings, though, because there's still a little breeze. If you've been out, there's still a little bit of that, but nowhere near as bad as what we had Saturday evening into Sunday morning. And if anyone's watching on your smartphone, tablet, computer, whatever the case may be, and you don't have power, and I can show you that map here, I'll bring that up. We're still showing some folks without power, sadly enough, so hopefully crews can get that restored as quickly as possible. So I'm so sorry if you're watching us without power. Hopefully you're staying warm and you're keeping your spirits elevated. Tammy, yeah. So if you use, depending on what how thick your blanket is, if it's not all that breathable, if it's a heavier blanket, may want to bring the blanket off. But excuse me, if it's a sheet, I would say you're probably good to keep that on there as long as your plants are breathing. Getting some air, you should be a-okay. Caitlin, you are welcome. Yeah, I will certainly dig into that, but that's kind of my guess. Yes. I hope I'm saying this right. The one you wish you had on YouTube. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the kind words. And yes, I certainly can show that. Let me pull this out. I actually have. We can do the 12. We can do the 12 hour here to start. Let me pull that up. This is highs while I have it up. This is actually highs tomorrow. So look at this. We're in for a heat wave. 60s. It'll be great. And then the 70s will be back for the day on Wednesday, which is delightful. Okay, so this is just like last night. Temperature's going to tumble pretty fast once the sun goes down. Back close to freezing there. The one you wish you had. It's so funny. I love saying these names on YouTube. The YouTube usernames, because obviously it's different than Facebook, where we kind of for the most part have everyone's name. So I always get a kick out of the usernames on YouTube. 41 around 10, back close to freezing at 3, and then as we head through the morning, we'll be down close to the freezing mark, if not below it, in Orlando. Okay, before we go to break, coming up at 3:52. So about a minute away, Fox local friends. If you are watching us from your smart TV, the Fox local app on your phone, your laptop, your tablet. Some good news here. Right now, only showing 300 customers in our area, including Lake and Alachua County. So a lot of this is good news, because even when I came in a few hours ago, we still had more popping up on the map. I'm sure today crews have been out working in full force to try to restore that as much as possible. Tammy, I love that. Great. Dustin, I would say you still could probably use the scarf. I mean, I'm kind of one that I'm prone to getting cold. I still have my winter jacket right to the right of me here, which I'll probably be putting on here in like 1.5 shakes of a lamb's tail in like the next 5 minutes. As soon as I hop off the air with you, I'm probably going to put my winter jacket on. But I'll probably need to take it off because I'll be hanging out with Marlisa on the 407, which is what you should do as well. 4 o'clock, if you're new to this stream, if you're new to the area, maybe you're just tuning in for the first time, we have a super fun hour of TV, which is known as the 407, hosted by our amazing Marlisa Goldsmith. So that is coming up at 4. I don't want to steal any of her thunder, but I did see some adorable kittens in the studio just moments ago. So that's your tease. Kittens. And it's also the PSA time. We've said this a lot. We've probably, maybe you're getting sick of us mentioning the peas. But with it being another cold night, make sure you think about your pets. When I walked Gizmo today, I had to put the jacket on him, and I didn't take him out for a super long time just because the ground, I know Caitlin was asking about that, the surfaces were still cold this morning. When temperatures get this cold, think of yourself walking across the ground without any socks on. It probably wouldn't tickle. So think about if you have any indoor or outdoor cats together, think about them and make sure they have a warm place to go. And hopefully that's inside the garage or your house. And same with your dog. Think about that, because it can hurt your pet's your hands, your paw pads.
In front of my camera and
Tammy, yes. Yes.
We cannot hear us somehow.
I agree with you 1,000%. Good news for sure. Okay, I want to pull up. I know I didn't. Let me pull this up real fast. I want to pull up.
We cannot hear us.
I know we're talking about the moderation in our temps. I want to pull those up real fast. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, here we go. Next 5 days. Welcome back, Fox Local. Actually, nope, almost. A little shy. I was a little premature there, but we'll bring them into the discussion here. All right, welcome back, Fox Local friends. There we go. 6 minutes left of this Monday edition of Fox 35 Weather Plus, and I wanted to kick it off here. This last little tidbit with the lows this morning. So we're jumping almost 10 degrees from Tuesday to Wednesday, and then another 10 going into Wednesday into Thursday ahead of a cold front that is moving in. So it'll feel better as you're kicking off your Thursday, but then temperatures drop. Could be dealing with maybe some frost advisories or cold weather advisories possibly early Friday. This is in Orlando, so temperatures north and west of town colder. So probably not for all of us, but maybe portions of Lake County, maybe Flagler into Alachua County, Marion County could be dealing with that. So we'll keep you in the know on that situation. Tammy's saying, I love the 407 and Fox. It brings all of us together like family. Oh, thank you, Tammy. That's really sweet. Thank you for the kind words. We certainly appreciate that. And your pup, Lady, that's her name, loves to be out in the cold. OMG, had to go out and pick her up. Yeah, I mean, some dogs, Brooks, we were talking about that yesterday. He has 2 Aussies, and they love the cold. And probably like, if you have a Husky, Gizmo is a little fluff ball. He only weighs about 15 pounds, and he does not like the cold. I don't think I've ever seen him go in and out of the house so fast. He's like, all right, let me go to the bathroom and then bring me back in, Dad. I don't want to be out here in this anymore, which I certainly don't blame him. Do not blame him in the least. Okay, so now let me check out our lows. Excuse me. Let me hit our highs real fast. Now this is something that probably won't be anytime soon, I would not think, unless you're maybe taking a little walk on the beach. But not beach weather. But notice our highs still the whole week below normal. But the 70s, upper 60s will certainly feel like a heat wave. In perspective, when we had wind chills down in the teens and single digits, we're jumping up 60 degrees, so it'll feel a lot nicer by the time we get into Wednesday. Little drop, but this kind of leads me into what I wanted to talk about, because some of you may be wondering, are we done? Are we through? Now, the Climate Prediction Center, they put out their weekly and monthly temperature outlooks looking at some of the long-range data, and that's something that still is indicating the potential and even likelihood that we could be below normal. So let me bring those up for you here. So this is between the February 8th through the 12th. And you zoom out, the eastern third of the country, still the likelihood of staying below normal. Now you look at the western 2/3 of the country, Utah, Colorado, spots that you'd think typically colder, and they have a good chance of being above normal. Or maybe you're watching from out that way, maybe you have friends or whatever, you could be above normal. Now, looking even further into the future here, this is February 10th through February 15th. So now this has changed a little bit, but still, when you see the just typical color of the map, I'll just say map color, the map colored region, including Orlando and Jacksonville, equal chances of above or below normal conditions, but still signal across the east that we could be below average. But you can kind of see that potential for warmth creeping in, so we'll be watching that. Big Ridge in the west and the central part of the country, and this dip in the jet stream in the east. But looking at the month as a whole, there's still that potential that we could be below average in terms of our temperatures. So Let me see here. I think may not have that, but I'll just let you know that that's certainly on the table. So that's something we'll continue to watch. But I know many of you will be wondering, what does Daytona weekend look like, and how does this upcoming weekend look like for the big game? Hard to believe the Super Bowl is almost here. I mean, I'm pumped. I talked about this before on Fox 35 Weather Plus. I'm a fan of the buffalo chicken dips. That's what I'm going to be making. So maybe that'll be our question of the day for you this weekend on After the Wrap. Hannah and I will have to discuss that. But I would think it would be something big game related, to say the least. But it's just about 4 o'clock. We'll be leading you right into the 407 with Marlisa. Always a lot of fun. And then be sure to join myself and Noah tonight. Noah at 5 and 6. I'll be on at 8 on Fox 35 Weather Plus. And then Noah, Luann, and John, I think, back at 10 and 11. So be sure to hop on for all the latest. And we will see you same time, same place on Tuesday for a warmer day. Have a good one.